Hey my beautiful Aquarius peeps, what's going on everybody? It's Am from CancerMoonsTarot and I'm coming at you guys with your yearly 2024 tarot reading. How are you? I hope you guys are doing well. I do want to mention before we go ahead and start, if you're interested in a personal reading, check out my website, CancerMoonsTarot.com. It'll be the first link in the description box below if you would like to book me there. But without further ado, guys, let's get on into it and see what's going on here for 2024. So we're going to start out here first and foremost with your three major themes for the brand new year. So what information and insight do we have here? Informations is a great way to put it, but what information and insight do we have here for Aquarius, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus coming into the year 2024? What is going to be their three major themes showing up here this year? Let's go ahead and begin. Starting out here with the first theme, we have here observe. Taking a look here at the next theme for Aquarius, we have here love. And taking a look here at the last major theme for 2024, we have a well-deserved reward. Love seeing that for you. Let's go ahead and get on into it and see what we got going on. Now, we're going to take a look here at these individually, and then I'm going to expand here with the tarot. So let's start here with observe. Now, coming into 2024, I definitely feel like in terms of themes, it would be a great year to be very observant. It would be really good to be mindful and aware of your surroundings. Now, this can be beneficial for weeding out some bad apples. It could also be beneficial as well, though, for seeking opportunity and seeing it when it's present. You know, a lot of people, when they're not in the energy of observation, when they're not in the energy of awareness, can miss out on the good stuff that's right in front of them, or sometimes they can miss out, on the snakes in the garden, or the people that are around them, or the situations that are impacting them negatively can go kind of right over their heads. So being observant is always a good thing because it allows you to kind of monitor your energy and your energetic space. So coming into 2024, it feels really good here in terms of you being on point, stepping into observation, and stepping into awareness. Now, let's go ahead and expand on this observe card. All right, let's see what information we have here for Aquarius coming on into 2024. What expansion energy do we have here regarding this first major theme, observe? Let's go ahead and see. First card coming out is going to be the Page of Wands. Looking at the following, we have here the Ten of Pentacles. And then looking at the last one, we have here the Seven of Pentacles, which I think makes a lot of sense here. So first and foremost, you got a Page of Wands. Page of Wands is about your interests. So I feel like in 2024, you're being called to listen to what you are feeling interested in. Go towards what you're feeling called to. Go towards what is grabbing your attention. Because I tend to feel that whenever we feel like our attention's being grabbed, or we have that intuitive nudge here, right? I think there's always something a little more to it. So I feel like if you're getting intuitive nudges coming into 2024, pay very close attention to them, observe them, because there really can be something there. You know, there could be something that just one day grabs your attention, Page of Wands, but then it turns into the Ten of Pentacles, which is like the most amazing thing that could have ever happened, right? You know, here's a person who caught your eye. Next thing you know, you're married to this person because you gave it a chance. So sometimes one tiny little moment can literally create a lifetime. And I feel like that's what 2024 is trying to say to you. It's like you have so many of these moments this year that you need to be very observant in, because if you go towards what you're feeling called to, it really can bring in some of the best chapters of your life coming into this year. You know, looking at the last card we have here, the Seven of Pentacles, the card of planting seeds. So essentially, Aquarius, if you're noticing that you have an interest in something this year, observe that interest, plant seeds in what you want to see grow, and it actually can form into the Ten of Pentacles, something that's completely abundant, amazing, and beautiful, because you took the time here to observe something and then you decided to invest in it, and due to that investing, you created something wonderful. So I feel that coming into 2024, the observe card's interesting because it tells you be aware of your environment. There could be, once again, some bad apples in the environment. If you become aware of that. Remove whatever doesn't serve you, period. However, though, you always want to be observant because you don't want to miss out on the potential good stuff. And I think there's a lot of good opportunity showing up here for you, but if you're not present enough to see it, if you're not aware enough to see it, then you could be missing out on those as well. So the major theme here is observation. Pay very close attention to your environment and pay very close attention to your intuitive nudges too, because if you feel like you're being guided somewhere, chances are there is something wonderful in store for you there. And if you actually allow yourself to be guided to where you're being called to, it can turn out to be a 10 of Pentacles like situation that's well worth the investment, okay? All right, Team Aquarius, cool. Let's hop on into card number 2, which is your second major theme, which is going to be the theme of love, okay? This could be romantic love coming into 2024. So for some of you, you may be finding love this year. You may be finding your person. However, though, it could be the year in general, looking at love in a little bit more of a generalized perspective where you are embodying more love within yourself. You are caring more for others. You are caring more for yourself. It could definitely be a lot of these energies as well, but let's go ahead and expand and see what's up. So what information do we have here regarding love? The second major theme. Page of Swords showing up, very interesting. Having a look here at the next card, we have here the Five of Pentacles, and taking a look at the final card, we have here the Seven of Cups. Yeah, I think there's going to be a pretty big change, guys, in terms of the love you receive, the love you give, the attention you receive, and the attention you give coming into 2024. In terms of themes, you have a Page of Swords accompanying this love card. And the Page of Swords has always been very interesting to me because a lot of people in the tarot will chop it up to being just the stalker card. I look at it more of the card of hesitancy, being worried, being nervous, being hesitant to do something in general. And I think that to a degree, if you're an Aquarius watching this, maybe you felt really hesitant in your love life. Maybe you felt scared to love other people due to the nature of possibly getting hurt. Maybe you were afraid to get your feelings invested in others. Maybe you were afraid to love yourself because you found that to be a difficult challenge or a very hard task. But ultimately here, Five of Pentacles pairing up with that Page of Swords says, I'm not afraid anymore of love. I'm not afraid to give love. I'm not afraid to be loved. Because the truth is that throughout life, you're going to get hurt no matter what. So we might as well enjoy the moments where there are love, peace, positivity, and when those harsh moments come, we'll get through them when we have to get through them. You know, I think it's about realizing if I live my entire life avoiding anything to do with feelings or avoiding anything due to the nature of having to get close to people, then I'm just going to be at a point where I'm forever withholding myself from good moments, good opportunities, good people, and love in general. You know, a lot of people tend to think that the best thing to do to never get hurt is to never feel or to never love at all. But the truth is that you're still just as miserable than if you were putting your heart out on the line and actually getting hurt in the first place. And some of these people we end up loving, that love can truly last a lifetime. So I always say it's more worth putting yourself out there, wearing your heart on your sleeve, rather than just never putting yourself out there at all. So I think you're going to notice Seven of Cups, a very overwhelming sense of love coming in for you this year, Aquarius. I think that for a lot of you, this is going to be coming into play in your friendships, meaning that brand new friendships can be manifesting, finding love for people that maybe you've never met before but are getting rather close to, or maybe you are starting to grow closer in certain friendships, whereas in the past you weren't as close to these people. However, though, there's going to be a lot of expansion, I feel, in your soul family, in the crowd, in the people you surround yourself with, and of course, in terms of love and romance, right? If we're talking about romantic love, this can definitely be coming in for you as well. If you are always super scared to love somebody, being ready to love somebody shows the universe, hey, Aquarian's ready. And if you're ready, the universe is here to deliver. So for some of you guys, maybe in the past it was hard for you to find love because you weren't open and available to it. And as always, if you're not going to be available to receive something, how could you receive something, right? Therefore, coming into 2024, as you're in a very receptive place, there could be some sort of romantic situation manifesting in here for you. But neither here nor there, whether it's romantic love or not, I think this year you start to feel like you're in a better place with yourself. You start to love yourself more. But I think also you're at a point where you're just not afraid of getting hurt anymore. You don't want to live your life like that. You don't want to live your life like the hermit. Because if I'm afraid to love people, or if I'm afraid to be loved, then I'm just going to be by myself. And I think that that's a pretty scary realization sometimes in life. And I think you're also noticing too, it's like, I don't want to be miserable and alone. I'd rather risk getting hurt, but make some wonderful memories with some wonderful people and have some really great people in my life too. Okay, having a look here at your last major theme for 2024, we have the well-deserved reward card, which I'm super stoked to see for you. So let's get into it and see what's up. Now, first and foremost, well-deserved reward is a well-deserved reward. So you definitely are going to be getting the fruits of your labor coming into 2024. So that could be something big. Some of you could be having a massive career shift and change. Some of you guys could be getting promoted. Some of you guys here could be in a period of time where you're gaining something wonderful for the hard work you've put in. So let's see what expansion cards we have about this last and final theme. What information and insight do we have here for Aquarius regarding a well-deserved reward? Let's go ahead and take a look. First card coming out is a Ten of Swords. Taking a look here at the next card, we have here a Ten of Wands. I love it. Looking at the last one, a Seven of Swords. God damn, baby. Aquarius, you're cutting out something big here that I feel has been a pretty massive energy drain or strain in your life. Jumping into this year. Ending suffering. Ten of Swords here to the Ten of Wands. Seven of Swords, however, though, could be a very deceptive person. Could be somebody who's held you back. But on the flip side of the coin, it could be parts of yourself that have also held you back as well. So this can really mean one or two things. Either you are removing yourself from maybe a specific person or specific situations that have kept you trapped and unhappy for years, and that's a well-deserved reward coming in for you, because as you're removing what's kept you so held back, you no longer have a blockage, you have an open channel. And if you have an open channel in your life, there's nothing you can't attain nor achieve. However, though, when you're in the space of blockage, it feels like nothing can ever come in, right? Now, I want to mention once again, you could be removing somebody who you may have felt has caused this, or a situation, or maybe you are finally removing a side of yourself that's kept yourself stuck and trapped. Because a lot of people can be their own Seven of Swords. A lot of people can stand in their own way from being able to achieve what they want, right? Based upon the negative side of their mind, the negative side of themselves, right? So I think that what's going to be super amazing about 2024 is that something big is getting removed here, a really big and massive blockage that I feel has been going on for a really long time. And it could have been self-inflicted, or it could have been other people. However, though, that's neither here nor there. You're removing that blockage, and it feels to me like finally you've created an open channel. And once again, with an open channel, there's nothing you can't attain nor achieve, meaning that you're going to start seeing the fruits of your labor, because you're going to start getting what you've worked so hard for, Aquarius, without blocking yourself from receiving, once again, those fruits of your labor. So I like that a lot coming in for you, man. I'm happy to see that. You know, some people are stuck in situations for years that keep them trapped and unhappy. Maybe it's certain people that they continue to indulge in, or maybe it's certain situations that they don't let go of, or maybe it's certain sides of themselves that they embrace more than the side of themselves that believes in them and loves themselves, you know? So it could be a multitude of things, but I think you guys are definitely letting go of something here that's massive, and it's going to feel like a really great relief. So you're definitely going to notice a huge shift in how you feel, but also you're now going to notice that open channel and how it feels a lot more easier to achieve, attain, and do the things you want to do. Cool, Aquarius. I love it, man. That is your three major themes here coming in for 2024. They all look pretty damn fantastic to me. What's going to happen now, guys, is I'm going to get on into your roses of the year for 2024. Now, the roses are basically the good stuff, the best things coming up here this year. So we'll take a look at all that information for you and see what roses you have. After that rose period, we'll take a look at your thorns. Now, thorns are essentially kind of like the downsides of the year, but the good news is that by giving you this information early, and with the fact that tarot is free will, you can choose to navigate away from those thorns rather than having to participate in them, having the information earlier on. So let's start with the rose, and we'll see what we got coming into play for you, okay? So what's going to be the first rose showing up here for Aquarius? Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. Jumping into 2024, what's going to be the first rose coming in for Aquarian? Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. Let's take a look here, baby. First rose showing up is Mindful, and this over here says Group Think. I like it. Taking a look here at the second rose for 2024, we have here Beloved, Radical Acceptance, and taking a look here at the final rose for 2024, what do we have here for Aquarius? And we have here Skybridge, the possibility for union. I like it, guys. First and foremost, I do want to mention, I really do see romantic union coming in for quite a few of you in 2024, so this could be big in terms of meeting like your really great divine counterpart, but this also could be the energy of just being in union with like who you truly are, the life you truly want to live, the things you truly have wanted. So that's really fantastic to see here too. Anyhow, let's get into these roses. Let's break it down and see what's going on. So starting out with the first rose, we have here Mindful, which says Group Think. Now, this is about starting to work with others. Also being incredibly mindful as well of how other people feel, what other people want. It's about recognizing that, you know, besides me, there are other factors and other people at play. And it's not to say you've ever had any sort of, oh, it's all about me kind of energy or narcissistic kind of energy. I don't think that's the case, but I feel like this year is going to give you a lot of insight into how other people feel, what's going on with others, what's going on in general. And I think that that's going to be incredibly amazing for clarity to really see where other people are coming from, because it's going to help you relate to them and it's going to help build stronger foundations in relationships. But however, it's also going to help you aid and be there for others coming into 2024. So I feel like you're going to be in a space, guys, where you're really starting to connect with people in super deep ways that maybe you haven't connected with them before. And once again, it goes back to that strengthening bonds aspect. In 2024, I feel like you're going to strengthen a lot of friendships, maybe even romantic relationships, maybe even family bonds by being in that mindful energy. You know, instead of looking at things from how I feel, I'm willing to look at the other side. You know, I'm willing to look at all aspects of what's going on and what's happening to form a really good decision. So mindfulness is amazing, and I feel like a lot of you guys are going to be embracing that coming into 2024. Now, let's have a look here and see and expand on this card and see what extra information comes in, okay? So, what do we have here for this first rose for Aquarius? Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus throughout 2024. We have here the High Priestess, we have here the World, and taking a look here at the next expansion set on this first rose, we have here the Two of Cups, and we have here the Nine of Swords. Interesting. So Aquarius, let's talk about it. First things first, we have here a High Priestess and a World card coming into play for you. High Priestess is about an intuition. It's about your intuition. It's about intuitive feeling, okay? So I think this year you're going to notice that you kind of know what's going on with everybody without them initially even having to tell you. I think this year you're very mindful. You're very aware. You can see everything from every perspective. You can understand where people are coming from. And your intuition kind of guides you the whole way and shows you the full story. You know, you have here the World card too. The World card definitely represents new beginnings, and it also could represent new perceptions and new points of view. So it does kind of feel to me like you guys are starting to take on a fresh perspective of people. Interestingly enough, with the Mindful card coming in here as your rose, I almost kind of feel like you could be changing your entire perspective on certain people in your life and seeing them in a completely different way that you've never seen them before. Meaning that maybe you've seen somebody in the past in a super, super negative light. However, though, maybe coming into this year now, you are starting to see a completely different side of them and rebuilding a relationship. Whereas maybe in the past there wasn't a relationship, right? I keep seeing things about coming together. We have here a Two of Cups, which is a card of coming together. And then we have here a Nine of Swords, which is a card that could represent fear. It could represent the energy of being upset with someone. And I think that that's going to be massive here. So for Aquarians that have kind of had falling out with people in the past, if you have fell out with people in the past, if you have kind of had a really sour taste in your mouth about a specific or certain person, you know, your perspective here this year could really be changing, and you actually could be growing closer to those types of people because you're really starting to see a difference and you're starting to see completely different perspectives, and that's really going to help you out, okay? Now, I also want to note that mindfulness is about becoming present and becoming aware. And what this can mean is that if you've been in a space of the Nine of Swords, aka if you've been very unhappy, if you've been very fearful, if you've been very anxious, you could be starting to see that everything that I've been feeding into is not worth it for me. However, though, I can feed into a completely different perspective that would make me feel completely better. So I almost kind of feel that the more mindful you become this year, the more you focus on a changed perspective and a better perspective to put you into a good position mentally, physically, and spiritually. So your mind is completely changing in ways you used to think, in the ways you used to feel about people, and definitely when it comes towards anything in the past that wasn't really making you ideally happy. I think that having this fresh perspective this year is what's allowing you to find happiness in almost everything and anything, because there's a positive side to everything, no matter what. So Aquarians, I like it a lot, guys. I feel like being mindful is going to help you bring in a lot more friendships and closeness to people. I think it's going to help mend a lot of wounds of the past between you and other people who might be distant. And I think it's also going to help you see life and see situations in a better light, because you're choosing to not only focus on the negative perspective and insight of things, but you're choosing to turn around and have a bit more of a positive attitude. Okay? Yeah, I don't know where I got all that information because these cards don't exactly say that, but that was my intuitive touch here for rose number 1. So take it if it resonates, okay? But that's what I felt there for the first rose. All right, let's get into the second rose in a second. The second rose here says beloved, and it says radical acceptance. So one moment and we'll dive on in. Let's go ahead and take a look here, guys, okay? Now, beloved, or beloved, however you want to say it, right? Radical acceptance. Pretty interesting stuff. I like it, Aquarius. I feel like a sigh of relief for you because a lot of people tend to look at Aquarians as the rebels, right? That's what you're known in the zodiac. Aquarius is the rebel. And a lot of people sometimes don't like rebels. They look at Aquarians as the black sheep of the family. Maybe you have felt like the black sheep of the family potentially. And it's pretty interesting this year to see that people are accepting you for you, even if you have this rebellion-like kind of energy. And not to even say that you're a rebel anyhow. But it's interesting that people will always kind of view you that way. People are accepting you for who you are coming into 2024. And I think that that is the most amazing rose you can have, because you might be an Aquarius who's watching right now who's like, Ant, you know, in my younger years or even in recent years, you know, just trying to be myself has always been a bit of a struggle because, and it's not to say that you weren't yourself, you were still unapologetically you, but it might have been hard to gain acceptance from other people due to the nature of other people not resonating with who you truly are. And 9 times out of 10, by the way, Aquarius, the reason why people may not accept you isn't because you're not good enough. It's because you are so good at being you that it literally threatens them. It makes them insecure and it makes them uncomfortable, okay? So a lot of people are starting to step into a space in the collective, I've noticed over the past few years, where more people are embracing who they truly are. Therefore, for individuals like you who are unapologetically you, are going to start to gain more acceptance as people are starting to realize, fuck the social norms, fuck societal values, fuck people's opinions, like I'm just going to be me, right? So there's going to be a lot of awesome acceptance, I feel, coming into play for you, and it's going to feel good, especially if in prior years, you felt like there was a lack of acceptance a lot of the times, you know? So that's going to be a really, really beautiful thing to see. Now let's go ahead and expand on it, all right? What insight and information do we have here for the second rose? Beloved, radical acceptance. Let's take a look here for beloved. I keep saying it either way, guys. Please don't, scrutinize me. I'm sorry. Let's go ahead and see though, all right? First card coming out is a 3 of Swords, and that's going to be paired here to a King of Swords. There you go. Taking a look here at the following, what's going to be the next expansion set on the second rose? We have here the Page of Wands, and we have here a 10 of Pentacles. Cool. So, like I previously mentioned, 3 of Swords showing up for you. It was definitely hard in the past, guys. With the energy of rejection, King of Swords showing up here could represent people who are in a space where they are... Oh, my second camera decided to die. Aquarius, give me a moment or two to go fix this, and then we'll be right back. Sorry, guys. Sorry about that, Aquarius. If it ends up, unfortunately, just turning off again, I guess we're going to roll with it. But like I was previously saying here, 3 of Swords paired to the King of Swords. So, it was hard, definitely, with the 3 of Swords being in a space of separation. You've always been the person to be yourself. You've never been afraid to be a leader. You've never been afraid to be the lone wolf of the pack. However, though, it is triggering and hurtful when other people have always been such followers, relying heavily on the opinions of others, relying heavily on society, relying on making sure they are doing what everybody else is doing, and that's just not Aquarian's energy. But the difference coming into 2024 this year is the interest is definitely showing up here. Page of Wands, people are taking interest in you. People are seeing the real you for who you are without a lens of judgment behind their eyes. And it's definitely going to be something that's going to impact your relationships with so many people, because it feels so nice to genuinely be seen and to genuinely be accepted. So coming into 2024, guys, I think that you're going to realize being me has never paid off better. Being myself has never paid off more than this moment. And it's a beautiful thing to see, especially with all this acceptance showing up for you. And I think a lot of that's been changing personally in the collective. I think a lot of people are becoming more empowered with being who they truly are. And it's awesome to see you aligning and resonating with those types of people, because the truth is, right, is we attract not what we want, but we attract what we are. And if we become incredibly proud, and if we allow ourselves to own who we truly are, we're going to attract people who love the fact that we own who we are. We're going to attract in people who respect the fact that we stand in our power, So I definitely see tons and tons of acceptance and relationships and bonds forming and genuine interest buzzing around you, Aquarius, which is really, really beautiful. I just want to throw this out here. Some of you should start a social media page. It doesn't matter what you do. It doesn't matter if you do tarot or if you do news or if you do anything, really. I just feel like you have a voice that a lot of people need to hear this year, no matter what it may be about. I feel like you're really being heard this year, and it could be incredibly impactful in the social media space. So for some of you, give that a go. There might be something really awesome there for you. Now, moving along here into your third and your final rose, we have here Skybridge, which says the possibility for union. Now, as I previously stated, I'm feeling a lot of vibes here for love coming into play with, between you aligning with your divine counterpart. So this could be a massive year for love, but if it's not about that, this is definitely about aligning and coming into union with what's truly for you, right? It's about your truth. It's about what you've always wanted in life from the bottom of your heart. So let's go ahead and take a look here at your expansion sets and see what's coming in here for you, Aquarius. So what do we got here for the last and final rose, which is going to be Skybridge, the possibility for union. We have here a Page of Pentacles, cool. Looking at the next card, we have here a a 7 of Wands, and then taking a look here at the last expansion set, we have here the Sun card, paired here to the 10 of Swords, okay? So let's go ahead and talk about it. Now, first things first, Page of Pentacles here to the 7 of Wands. 7 of Wands is typically the energy of resistance, right? And Page of Pentacles is the energy of going for something, putting in a bit of an investment. So I think that in the past, you might have felt that every time I've tried to go for what I've wanted, it always felt like there was never an open door. It always felt like I was constantly shut down, or things would just suddenly not work out for me, even though I was putting in the work as much as possible. What I think is so wonderful about this year, though, is Sun card showing up and the 10 of Swords showing up. What's coming to an ending here for you is that energy of feeling blockages. I'm pretty sure I talked to you guys earlier in the 3 major theme section where I said this year you're becoming an open channel. There isn't any room for blockages. I might have said that in this part of the reading, but there isn't room for open blockages. There's room for open channels jumping into 2024 where you are finally starting to get from point A to point B. So I love it a lot, guys. I think that that's coming to an ending for you, and there's tons of happiness showing up here because it feels great to see things finally come into union. It feels great to see me finally aligning with the things I want. There isn't resistance at play anymore. It just feels like it's smooth sailing. So this is a year, guys, where you really can achieve a lot. You really can attain a lot, and there's nothing in the way. You know, if you were once standing in your own way, you're not anymore. If there were bad people or negative situations in the way, you've removed yourself from that. 2024 is about saying, I can do anything that I put my mind to, and there is a possibility for everything, right? So at the end of the day, I just have to believe in the possibilities of what I desire out of life, and I can have that become my reality. So there's going to be a lot of room for union this year in reference to the things you wish to align with. And it's going to make you incredibly, incredibly happy, especially if you feel like in the past, like the universe was always against me. Anytime I wanted something, it just suddenly didn't work out. You're removing those limited beliefs, those fear factors, and those doubts, and you're going to start to really see that I can do what I want this year. And as I do it with the belief in myself, I start to see the results come true. So that's really beautiful, guys. I love these 3 roses. This is fucking fantastic. So let's go ahead and keep it popping, pushing, and moving forward. Definitely starting over here in 2024 on a super high note. Now we're going to start to take a look here now at your thorns. And as I have previously stated, thorns are essentially kind of like the lows of the year, the things that you want to avoid. Now, the reason I'm even doing it in the first place is to give you guys the insight so that we can avoid these types of things if we don't wish to experience them, right? So keep in mind, these roses do not have to manifest. You have free will on your path to avoid everything that I'm going to be saying here today. So let's take a look here at the thorns, guys, coming in for Aquarius, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus throughout the year of 2024. What is going to be the first thorn showing up here for Aqua? For the first thorn, we have here the Watchers. Transpersonal, very interesting card showing up here. Taking a look at the next thorn, we have here Mindful coming out again, and having a look here at the final thorn for 2024, we have here the Vanishing Mirror, Ego Sublimination. Interesting, interesting, interesting. So Aquarians, let's go ahead and talk about this one. First things first, we have here the Watcher. Now the Watcher is pretty interesting because it's about what you're paying attention to, what you're watching in your life. And honestly, when we are putting our focus and our attention on something, we have to remember that wherever our attention goes is where energy flows. So if we're watching very closely things that we don't necessarily like or things that don't inherently make us happy, we have to remember that if our attention's going there, we're getting that back in return. So if we are focusing on somebody that we don't like, we're going to be thinking about how much we don't like them and how much we don't enjoy them, and then we're going to feel icky and gicky, and it's going to come back to us, and that's the energy we're sitting in and resonating in, and it's not all that fun. You know, if you're watching a scary movie, in terms of where you're putting your attention into fear, and you're getting fear back, you know? So at the end of the day, we have to look at it in that perspective. What are you paying close attention to? What are you having a watchful eye on coming into 2024? Because you want to be mindful of the type of energy you are receiving back. So really pay attention to where your attention is going in 2024. Now let's go ahead and have a look here, okay? What's showing up here with this first Thorn? The Watchers. What insight and information do we have here regarding this very first Thorn for Aquarius? Now we have here a Page of Pentacles coming out with a Page of Wands. So interest is the Page of Wands here. Page of Pentacles is an investment. So, you know, things may pique your interest this year, but sometimes we got to remember that not everything that piques our interest is always worth the investment, right? We have here the Death card, and we have here the Ace of Swords. Sometimes it's good to just let situations die out. It's good to let situations end rather than to keep them going. This is kind of giving me the energy of keeping a watchful eye on somebody. Maybe they're getting what they deserved. Maybe somebody screwed you over and hurt you, and you're like, damn, look at their life now. But you got to remember, guys, at the end of the day, people will always get what they deserve, especially when they fuck you over. But spending a lot of your time, your energy, and your investment on that is only going to put you in a place where you're still feeling the associated feelings you had in the first place when they hurt you, right? At the end of the day, if you're mad at somebody for the way they treated you and you're still paying attention to them, you're still picking up on the emotional residue of how they've treated you. That feeling is still sitting with you because you haven't truly released, you haven't truly let go. And I think that that's what can end up hurting you at the end of the day, and that's something you totally want to avoid. You know, a couple years ago, I'd tell you, yeah, I love watching my enemies get fucked over and hurt in the ways that they've hurt me. Oh, 100%. A couple years ago, I was in that energy. I was like, I will bathe in the blood of my enemies type of person, you know? Like, fuck it. I don't care. Let them get what they deserve, right? And sure, temporarily, it might make you feel good, but then you start to be reminded of the fact that you're sitting in the same exact energy and the same exact pain and the same exact anger and the same exact frustration that you've been sitting in the entire time ever since they fucked you over. You never really let go. And seeing them get their karma isn't changing anything because those feelings are still sitting with you. So I learned on my spiritual journey, it's better to just let go of all that shit. Death card, you know, Ace of Swords. I had to realize that letting go is what truly set me free. I wasn't in that energy anymore. I didn't have that energy still attached to me, and I quite frankly didn't give a fuck about what was going on with that person and what was going on with them in their lives. You know, I felt better and I felt more peaceful just doing me and living my life rather than having my energy still wrapped up and invested in those types of situations. So I want to just say, remember that quote very thoroughly. Where your attention goes is where energy flows. You want to be very mindful of your attentiveness this year. Put it into something wonderful. You know, if you're putting your attention into how wonderful your life is going, if you're putting your attention into how wonderful certain people are, you know, you're getting back that wonderful energy. If you put your attention on the positive stuff, positivity comes back in return. So definitely something to think about. Having a look here at the next Thorn, we have here Mindful coming out again, Group Think. Now, I think you want to be incredibly mindful this year, Aquarius, because I told you guys previously in your roses, I was mentioning how this year there's a lot of acceptance coming in for you guys, especially for the fact that Aquarians have always been never afraid to be who they truly are. The interesting factor about this year is I feel like some people are going to try to take away who you truly are. There might be people who are trying to put you into kind of a hive mind mentality or a hive mind kind of thinking, saying, Aquarius, if you don't think like me, if you don't act like me, if you don't look like me and talk like me, then you are not to be associated with. So it's pretty interesting that that energy may still show up here in 2024. However, though, remember, you never want to join the hive mind. It's better to be your own person and your own entire thought form than to resonate with the thought forms of others. You're going to get more acceptance this year, guys, by by being who you are, and you're going to get more people who resonate with you by being who you are, rather than joining that kind of hive mind based mentality. Aquarius, don't feel afraid this year and pressured to have to think like everybody else. Don't be afraid to have a different perspective, and don't be afraid to stand alone if nobody stands with you, because it's so much better to stand in what you believe in and what your truth is, rather than what everybody else is trying to get you on board with, okay? Now, you can see this in the political world. You can see this in the collective world. You could see this in the, very common opinions of other people. That shit doesn't matter. If you have a different insight and a different opinion, stand by it and support it 110%, okay? Now, let's go ahead and get into it. What information do we have here for the second Thorn? Coming in here for Aquarius, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus throughout the year 2024. We have here, dun dun dun, the Page of Cups showing up, and that Page of Cups is going to be paired here to the Ace of Wands. Yeah, people who are coming into play with you that are offering, like, they're showing up very nice, they're showing up very loving, but they want to change. Ace of Wands. The way that you think, the way that you show up, the way that your future is going to be. I don't know why, guys, this year, I feel like somebody's going to come in here trying to change who you are. And it's probably just a specific person. I don't think it's a multitude or a group of people, but for some reason, that's what I'm picking up on. So you could be faced with a challenge this year of somebody who's trying to change who you are. And I'm here to tell you, don't let them. It's a different story if you resonate with that person and you resonate with what you personally want to transform and change into. But I just get that icky feeling, man, of somebody here who's like, Aquarius, you need to be a part of the hive mind. You can't be the rebel anymore. Like, you need to be the follower. And you don't, okay? We have here Queen of Swords, and that Queen of Swords is going to be paired here with the Four of Pentacles. Yeah, this is not something worth holding on to. This is something worth letting go. This is something worth cutting off. So I'm just throwing this out here. Apparently today, this Mindful card is just giving me tons of interesting intuitive answers. But I would say for 2024, if you do end up coming into contact with a person like this who's trying to change you, who's trying to tell you how to live your life or how you're supposed to think or what you're supposed to say and how you're supposed to express yourself, it isn't worth it. It's not. Even if it's somebody coming in a romantic sense, it ain't worth it either. You want people to love you for you. And you've always been that person who's always going to do them no matter what. So I don't even see the majority of you anyhow giving in to this person and giving into their demands of change. But there could be something about this person with that Ace of Wands. Maybe this is somebody who's very beautiful and their beauty can be deceiving. Maybe this is somebody who's very manipulative. Or maybe this is somebody who becomes very important to you. But despite the importance of who somebody is, you always have to remain true to yourself. So Aquarians, I don't see most of you anyhow getting caught up in this kind of trap. However, though, if you come to terms and realize that you are getting caught up in this trap, remove yourself from the trap. Because the last thing you want to do is get involved in this kind of energy. There's something about it that doesn't feel fantastic, and I definitely wouldn't want to see you guys in that position to where you've been removed from that energy of being who you are into kind of conforming into what somebody wants you to be. Now, I know most Aquarians watching right now are about to type a comment and say, Ant, nobody's ever going to change me. I know. But you'd be surprised. Some of the biggest people in the world who have always been the individuals to do be a lone wolf, to be the leader of their own, life, can get caught up in situations where they end up conforming, So that stuff can happen to anybody. So that's why you always want to remain true to yourself. All right, guys? So not much to talk about. I think most of you will end up avoiding this anyhow, but just in case you get caught in a trap, use your mindfulness, guys. Walk away from this type of energy and this type of person. All right? All right, guys. Looking at the last and final Thorn, we have here the Vanishing Mirror Ego Sublimination. Let's go ahead and talk about it, all right? What do we got showing up here for this last and final Thorn coming into 2024 for our Aquarians? What do we got going on here for them? First card coming out, it's going to be a Nine of Wands, and that Nine of Wands here is going to be paired to the Three of Pentacles. Now, Nine of Wands is typically an energy that is representative of being in a space where you feel uncomfortable to tell people how you feel, to own what's going on with regards to your feelings. Typically the Nine of Wands is somebody who holds back emotionally. Now, Three of Pentacles, on the other hand, is the energy of working things out, And in order to work something out emotionally, you have to be emotionally open. You have to be emotionally available. I think that this year, with the Vanishing Mirror card showing up, pretty much what this is saying, Aquarius, is you want to be careful, guys, in terms of vanishing away from your own image. You want to be incredibly careful this year, guys, of pushing away from, what you truly feel, who you truly are, and making sure you're owning that no matter what. There's a lot of people in the world who are afraid to show their true feelings because they feel like once they do, other people are going to judge them for it. But Aquarius, once again, guys, don't fear to do that. There's a lot of messages showing up in 2024 about being yourself truly. And even when it comes to your emotions, continue to be yourself truly. If you're sad, you're allowed to be sad. If you're angry, you're allowed to be angry. You're allowed to feel whatever it is the fuck you feel, and it's okay to not be okay. I think to a degree, guys, you've been so used to maybe not opening up about how you felt because maybe a part of you had thought in the past that opening up about my feelings does nothing, but maybe you've never actually taken the time to try to sort out your feelings. Maybe you grew up in an environment where people told you to shoo those feelings away, or maybe you were around people in the past who didn't care about those feelings. But the difference is this year, people see you and they're around you and they love you and they care for you and they want to be able to be there for you. So don't shut down. In 2024, realize that you have a group of people lined up who actually want to be there for you, especially if you need an extra hand. Okay, guys, this is a year where people are at the ready to aid and assist Aquarius. This is a great year for you guys. I actually feel like out of all the zodiac I've read so far, you guys are going to be in a space this year where it's going to feel a lot more different than the others in a very positive kind of way. So you guys look like you're having a huge turnaround out of all the other zodiac I've already read for. So I just want to throw this into play for you. Don't toss out your image. Or don't change your image, guys. Don't try to show up as, I'm happy when I'm not happy, right? At the end of the day, it's okay to not be okay. And it's okay to not worry too much about your image either. And I know that most Aquarians watching are like, Ant, I don't. I get it. But some of you out there do. And it's fine to realize that nobody has to, or it's fine to say like, it's fine to be who you are and not give a shit about what anybody else thinks. It's okay to be upset. It's okay to be angry. It's okay to be happy. It's okay to be sad. Just be you. All right. And also recognize that people want to be there for you too coming into this year. All right, guys. And also let them, Aquarius. I know that there's a lot of Aquarians for me personally in my life that when they start opening up to me, I see them start to shut down the moment that they realize they've opened up a little bit too far. Don't be afraid to go far, guys. Don't be afraid to be so open with people. It's going to be okay, especially for the people that are at the ready that want to be there to aid and assist you and hear you out and give you some good advice. Let yourself go beyond that point of no return, if you will. Pause. But the point of no return emotionally, right? Try to let yourself pour out as much as you can because I feel like there has been a lot bottled up within you over the years, Aquarius, and it's well worth the release. Okay? All right, let's take a look at your next expansion set on this final Thorn. What's going to be the last expansion set here for Aquarius coming into 2024? We have here the Tower and we have here the Sun. Guys, if you want to be happy, you have to be willing to tear down every single part of your foundation that you feel has created unhappiness in your life. I think what a lot of you might come to terms with is like, I don't know, I felt unhappy or I felt bitter, never feeling like people were there for me before. And due to the nature of feeling like people were never there for me, you've kind of adapted that energy of being very shut down and not opening up, because if people didn't care about me then, why would they care about me now? I think a lot of you have adapted that kind of mentality. But 2024 shows you that there are people who are willing to be here for you. And I think that essentially the Tower card's trying to say, if you want to be happy and if you want people to be there and if you want to remove yourself from the chains that have been casted upon you, you have to be willing to let go of these old ways of thinking, right? Thinking that nobody cares. That's not true. You got to eliminate that old way of thinking because people do care about you, Aquarius. Thinking that nobody wants to hear your problems. I'm sure there are tons of people who want to hear your problems and be there to help because they love you. But first, in order to be kind of happy, right, period, with the Sun card, in order to embrace this new kind of mentality, you have to break away the old habits. Like the old habits of shutting down, the old habits of negative beliefs that aren't always inherently true. like no one cares about me. Bullshit. I care about you. Tons of people care about you. The Pope cares about you. Who knows? Everybody cares about you guys, okay? So you got to break down those old crappy beliefs and reinforce some beautiful, brilliant new ones in order for you guys to be willing to be open, okay? All right, Aquarius, I love you. Those were your 3 thorns for the year of 2024. Remember, you can avoid each and every single one by having all this information and insight available early on, okay? All right, guys, we have done your roses. We have done your thorns. We're going to get into the last and final portion of the read, which is going to be what you need to do this year to become your greatest version, Aquarius, and then we'll have an overall outcome, and we'll take a look at what that'll be too, okay? So let's get into it, guys. What does Aquarius have to do in the year of 2024 to become their greatest version? Any insights and information for Aquarius will be much appreciated. So let's take a look here and see what are some specific things Aquarians can do and some steps they can take to become their greatest version in the year of 2024. Now we have here a 3 of Cups. Enjoy yourself a little more. That's what I'm hearing for you. Enjoy yourself a little more. Hang out a little more. Do a little more. Enjoy the life and enjoy joy. Okay, that's a really interesting way to put it. Thank you. Anyhow, Aquarius, the point is that tap into the energies of joyfulness a lot more. There's a lot of things that you can do that can bring joy into your life. You can go mini golfing with some friends. You can go watch a movie. You can go start a side business, or you can go do crafts with a romantic partner. Who knows? But the more things you can bring into your life this year that genuinely bring a smile to your face, that genuinely bring in joy, the more that you do for you and for the enjoyment of yourself, the better that you are going to feel in 2024, and the more connected you're going to feel to who you actually are and who you want to be. So if you want to become your greatest version this year, it's time to surround yourself with more things that bring in joy, because you deserve that. Okay, guys? Taking a look here at the next card of what steps Aquarian can take. Let's go ahead and have a look. We have here the 8 of Swords paired with the Page of Pentacles. Guys, get out your mind and get out your head coming into 2024. You know, if you want to be the greatest version of yourself that you can be, it's not always going to be easy to have that transformation when you have so many thoughts caught up within you that aren't really aiding or helping you, you know? So having a muse, you know, having someone to talk to about what's going on can be really beneficial in terms of release. And also, some people have some really great advice. So that came up a lot in today's reading too. But it can be a really big help to kind of get your thoughts out of your head, you know? And even if you don't want to talk to anybody, writing down on paper what you're dealing with, what you're thinking, using your thoughts as a form of artwork. Maybe you're a singer or a musician, or maybe you have poetry that you love doing, who knows? But getting all those thoughts out of your head and physically allowing yourself to release them are really going to aid and benefit you. So Page of Pentacles says, if you're stuck in your head over something, do something about it. Take action. Don't fall submissive to it. Okay? The last thing you guys want to do is be stuck inside your head or be unhappy about a situation and then just do nothing about it. Remember that you always have the power to change what you're feeling and what's going on. So if you want to do something about it, be willing to do so. All right, Aquarius? So I feel like you have to take steps to get out of your head this year and to adopt a better mindset if a better mindset is needed. All right? And definitely, once again, 3 of Cups, do what you can to bring in joy into your year for 2024. Now we're going to take a look here at one more step or steps of what you can do to become your greatest version. And then I'm going to tell you a blueprint on how to actually achieve that this year. Okay, guys? So let's get one more card here, 1 or 2 more cards on what Aquarian can do, what steps they can take to be their greatest version here in 2024. And what do we have? We have here a Knight of Pentacles, and we have here a King of Cups. Take the time, guys. Even if it's slow, be steady with yourself, be consistent with yourself in terms of loving who you are. The King of Cups could be a card massively that resonates with self-love. And it feels like in 2024, if you take slow but steady steps in loving yourself a little more every day, you're going to feel better and better by the day, and you're going to feel more connected to yourself than ever. So small steps equal massive wins. Be kind to yourself today, and that can benefit you tomorrow. And even if you're only implementing self-love and implementing self-care in very short and subtle ways, that consistency over time is really going to help you embody a beautiful, genuine relationship with yourself. So guys, keep that up, okay? All right, now to tell you guys the blueprint here for 2024 on how you're going to become your greatest version, let's go ahead now and get into that. Now, what you want to do, guys, is you need to start asking yourself questions of who you want to be. Because I tell people this all the time, each and every single day, we have the choice to be exactly who we want to be, okay? Now, if there is a version of yourself that you can imagine that is the absolute and utmost best version you could ever be, bring that version into mind right now. Now, what does that version look like to you? How does that version treat themselves? How does that version treat others? How does that version dress? How does that version of yourself feel? What kind of emotions is that version feeling? Are they feeling happy? Are they feeling rich? Are they feeling kind? A lot of people will always tell you, if you want to become a new version of yourself, you have to act like that version. There is no acting. Because if you're acting like somebody else, you're just simply acting. It doesn't actually mean that that's what you are. What you need to do is you need to start to embody the energy of the version of yourself you wish to be. So if you wish to be a happier person, you have to embody happiness. If you wish to be a kinder person, you have to embody kindness. If you wish to be a person who's rich, embody the energy of what a rich person is, period. Take on those roles. Take on those characteristics. Take on that energy as if that's exactly who you are. Because by deciding to say, this is the version of who I want to be, and by literally allowing yourself to become it by embodying that energy, that's how you're going to transcend into that version. All right, guys? So that's the key there. So hopefully, with some extra things I told you with the tarot and with that little blueprint, many of you guys can decide this year, fuck it. I'm not going to act as if to become who I want to be. I'm going to choose who I want to be, and I'm going to embody that energy and simply become it. I like it, Aquarius. Very, very cool. All right. All right, guys, let's have a look here at your overall outcome, and then I'll be out of your hair for 2024. So what is going to be the overall outcome here for Aquarius? Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus throughout the year 2024. What is the overall outcome of their year? We have here a 4 of Swords coming out paired to the 10 of Cups. I like it, guys. 4 of Swords here is a card about removing yourself from things you need to remove yourself from. Could be toxic people, could be toxic situations, or it could be essentially the old version of yourself or the old life that you might have had. I think a lot of you guys essentially are removing yourself from things that haven't served, and 10 of Cups here says you're now finding a life that you're incredibly happy living. You know, 10 of Cups represents the ultimate fulfillment. It means I've reached happiness in my life. I've reached a point where I can genuinely say I'm proud of the life that I'm living. So Aquarians, I think this year you're going to be doing fantastic and great. I think that there's going to be a massive change, and I think there's a huge perspective change in how you view yourself and, you know, what you accept and what you tolerate. I've seen that a lot throughout today's reading, and I think it's genuinely beautiful and wonderful to see so much acceptance and so much love coming in for people appreciating you for who you are. So 10 of Cups is even representative of a lot of the love you're about to receive this year, which feels great. You'll be a social butterfly too, I feel. And it feels good, you know, especially if you've always kind of felt like a bit of a loner. It's nice to know you have a soul family to back you up. And it's nice to know that, once again, even though I said this a lot, being yourself has really paid off too. All right, Aquarians, what a beautiful reading, guys. I appreciate you so much. If you made it this far throughout the video, you're a real one. So thank you for watching all your insights and information for the year 2024. But Aquarians, I love and appreciate you guys so much. I'm wishing you a wonderful, wonderful year. And if you're new and you've never seen me before, consider subscribing. I'd be happy to have you. If you enjoyed today's video, definitely do hit that like button. Really helps out a lot. Aquarius, have a wonderful year, everybody. And I will catch you guys in the next video. Much love and have yourselves a good one. Peace.